Hello, all you wonderful people. Happy Friday, or perhaps happy Saturday, depending where you are in this here world. Oh my goodness, what a week it has been. It's a week of preparation, of energy, of, oh my god, there's still so much to do. So, pardon me as I fade out one music. So, I hope this finds you are all doing well on this Friday evening, perhaps Saturday midday. And a shout out now to all the folks who have tuned in, even though I was pretty late in setting up this year's stream. Prince Apollo and Champ to Stay, Preston Cox and Little Heart Raccoon. Okay, Elise, I don't know what last name is, but I am going to botch this. Anjistrat. Ma foi. And then there's Trinair. That's much easier to say. As is Jude 3300. And hello, Ranch Hog. And Pokemon Fire Eevee, good to see you. Enderpup and Komodra Steel. And Sweetie Bloom. Sweetie, I thought you were at work at this hour. Don't stress yourself on my account. Although a special shout out to Sweetie Bloom, as she noted on Twitter, come watch Silver make things harder for himself. She is so right with that. So very, very right. But I do it because I love. So, there we go. And let's see here. Oh, at least you've been first stream in half a year. Well, welcome, and thank you for making my stream your return. Ma foi. And let's see here. I saw some other folks pop up. Gojaline91, excellent to see you, as is Noah Harris. Sela the Kelpie. One person going by I am bad at games. Well, welcome to the club. Inquisitor 751. Good to have you here. Oh, I followed up with folks, what folks told me last week about Emperor's speech-to-text device being taken down. Not strictly true, but Games Workshop really made a terrible choice and a terrible policy. And so they've cost one of the best introductions to the Warhammer universe in doing so, which was very bad policy in my eyes. But I appreciate folks letting me know about it. When I watched the quote-unquote last episode of the Emperor's Speech-to-Text device this week, I felt for it. Oh, Thespio! The Wilstonator is following me over on the Twitch. Much appreciated. Also over on Twitch is Helsing Ghost, Rick James 85, and Seth Moths. Good to see y'all. Oh, Ender. Now, Ender has a request. Oh my goodness, Enderpup's sister. She's leaving for Athens University next Friday. And Enderpup themselves is starting a dual enrollment. Well, I wish you both the best with wonderful experiences, growth. There'll be challenges and frustrations, but I'm confident you will both rise to the occasion and grow because of it. So we are most definitely cheering you on. And let's see here. Oh, I see many people popping up. I see Trainboy11, Maverick BNA, Keldo Studios, Lola Hamster, Hawkfire. You guys have very fun names. And Chloris. Oh, and I heard another notification. Trinary, you're still so generous. Stop being generous. Actually, wait, that's terrible advice. Be generous to someone else. There we go, that's better. Oh, wow, and actually Violet84 Aura, Clay Pigeon, Blue Griffin, Kristen C, and, oh, Illustrious Q. Hello, Q. Yes, Illustrious Q, with whom I shall be presenting the IDW Top 5, Bottom 5 at Everfree Northwest next week. And I shall be doing the Elements of Shipping panel with Sweetie Bloom. So, oddly enough, I have both my co-panelists here tonight. How can I embarrass them? Well, there's all manner of ways I could, but let's instead talk about events. But before I do so, I want to give special thanks to everyone in this chat. how do I put, early on when I was doing all those editing of my next video, the G5 is coming, I had hesitations that almost 8 months after the initial press release, I wasn't sure if I was too late to the discussion to chime in and people would ignore it. I've been very happy with the attention it's gotten, with the feedback. Some folks are for it, some are against it, but people are interacting, and I appreciate that. And it was the encouragement from folks at the stream that helped me move forward on that. So, thank you all. Oh, hey, there's also a voice of reason in the chat. Well, you all provide voices of reasons, but there's the literally named voice of reason. So, welcome everybody. Also, I'm doing something a little different tonight, in multiple ways. Before I dive into working on something for Everfree Northwest on our presentations, as I roll my R's, I am trying to discern the reason why sometimes my audio gets real staticky. And I think I've deduced the problem. When I initially stream, my computer has a multi-output device. It goes to both my headphones and an output that you all can hear on Twitch or YouTube streaming. What I have done is because I got static when I got the Rodecaster Pro, but it was only happening in certain situations. And I realized it's probably because of the multi-output device. So what you're hearing right now is all my audio going out through basically just the soundboard. And my hope is, as I start to play some music, that it won't be staticky. Now, please let me know if the music is too loud, maybe too quiet, and all good things. Oh, Jinx Productions, I appreciate that it might be my electric personality, but that would be very shocking. Very shocking. Oh, and Lola Hamster, you have a cursed question to ask. Dare I ask? Well, actually, I dare you to ask. Yes. Oh, let's see here. Also, Clay Pigeon, I have a pre-panelist tonight. I'm not sure what that means, but you'll be doing Villain 101 panel next Saturday as a special guest. Congratulations. Excellent. Oh, you wish the badum-ch. Well, I missed the opportunity, so there you go. Alrighty. But let's get into the art tonight. Oh, after I lay out my FF3 schedule. Now, obviously on Friday, opening ceremonies. I hope to see folks there as we welcome everyone. I'll have if possible, I'm going to make a request of the audience. At 11:30, well, let's see. Actually, I believe 11:30 is the IDW Pony Live. But then on the main stage at 1:30 is Bronies React, and I will be a panelist on that as I get to catch up with my fellow reactors. Oh, it's a real powerhouse. We'll be on the stage taking questions and just reminiscing. Then let's see here. Then the Elements of Shipping shall take part in Twilight's Writing Room at 3 p.m. And then I hope you will migrate to the Cadence Room, where at, I believe, 4:30, Sweetie Bloom will be doing Fluttershy's Do's and Don'ts of Animal Care. And given that she helps work and professionally care for animals, definitely give that a little. She's coming from a place of authority and experience. The best teachers. Then let's see here. It looks like 5:45. I always have a little trouble with the blocking on this, but I think at 5:45 in Celestia's room, the illustrious Q and I will be doing MLP IDW's top 5, bottom 5. A look at what we think are some of the best and worst comics that IDW has put out. And, oh, yes, I should clarify that the IDW My Little Pony Live panel at 11:30, that is going to be run by the illustrious Q. So definitely check it out on the main stage. Then on the Saturday, 10 a.m. on the main stage. That is a little surprising to me. I shall be excited / intimidated for it. After the Fact Live, Wonderbolts Academy. I once gave a presentation with Q and Firebrand on Newbie Dash, so I thought it'd be fitting at the newest Everfree to go back and look at her first foray into the Wonderbolts world. Now, at noon in the Lunar Room, I will not be a part of the TF2 Analysis Anarchy panel, but there will be a wealth of people who are, including Thespio, Jasper Pie, wow, had a slight mind fart there. Jasper Pie will be there, Dr. Wolf, Lightning Bliss, and I'm betting more people. Reviewers like to sneak up on you. They're like, hey, I'm here, and I'm like, bah! So they will be there in the Lunar Room at noon. And let's see here. Ah, yes. At 3 p.m. on the main stage on Saturday is Whose Line Is It Anyway?, of which I will get to play a part. I will need to find out if we're doing the hoedown or Irish drinking song at the end. That's one of the highlights, and quite crazy. To Pig Boss 1, good to see you. But unfortunately, well, in many ways, fortunately, this convention will be live. It's not so much online streaming, although some guests will have to Skype in due to travel restrictions. So I'll do my best to record my panels, at least. I know RaceBest is exceptional doing that. He'll have Hooves Line and Bros React up before you can blink. I'll do my best, but as you all probably know by now, I'm a bit of a slowpoke. And Nora Mermaid has shown up. She will be at Everfree Northwest fawning over me, of course. Yes, there's no one else there over whom she might, fawn. Aww. And yes, Nora, I will have Sharpies on hand. Oh, also, welcome. Oh, Chris and Drinking Buddy. Good to see you both. So, now that I've yammered away on all these good things that are coming up. Oh, I almost forgot one thing, though. There will be a Prance tournament, I believe, on Saturday night at 7 p.m. Having trouble spotting it on the schedule right now, but it will be there. Hosted by my friend Sky of Sky Railroads. And, well, Prance tournaments are just fun. They're high energy, they're very fast-paced, and they can usually lead to some pretty funny events. See the initial Silver Ship's Bliss without her permission joke. That's where it started, and Prance was a big part of it. But it's so much fun, even she will play it. There's no grudge there. So, all that good stuff coming. But here I am, I haven't even talked about what I'm trying to draw. Now, here's the thing. I'm pulling this up. I've been running on full steam all week trying to get ready, get things going, making progress in more ways, not so much progress in others. So, life is, there's a saying, if you have everything under control in life, you're not moving fast enough. Well, I can guarantee that is not a problem for me. But I do want to try and keep going on fan requests and Patreon projects and fulfillments, hence Fulfillment Friday. My newest request, or my newest project right now, is a Sonic OC, very heavily inspired by the Blue Blur Hedgehog. So, as you see some Sonics pop on screen, like so, ooh, tall drink of water. That is because I am going to try and figure this out. I have never drawn Sonic OCs before. I don't think I've even made a Sonic joke. Huh. It's kind of weird. And Sonic has had various looks over the years, truth be told. Oh, I gotta do a little WebP to PNG conversion. So, pardon me one second as I take care of this. But this is what we're gonna start with. Now, you guys know I usually do a lot of vectoring, but I'm not gonna just copy an existing Sonic pose. That feels too disingenuous, but I will be using these as a guide as I try to understand. Here we go. I guess this third Sonic is called Reboot Sonic, but he's not Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom, that was an oddity. I didn't even get that much into it, but I saw the game, I saw the footage, like, is this Sonic? And to think once fans were just angry about his eye color. Never underestimate a franchise's ability to make you go, what? Alrighty. So let's lock this layer, because this is just for reference. There we go. Boop. Alrighty, so I got me some Sonics, and now I need to get back my chat. There we go. Now Harris. Now Harris, you want Sweetie Belle with Ariel and Flounder? Well, I mean, first things first, I gotta prioritize folks who have supported me on Patreon. I'm slow to fulfill their requests, but I strive to do so. So I gotta give that priority, but I'll keep that in the back of my head and see what I can do down the road. Sonic, you're too slow. Now, Preston, I know you've been asking about Raya and the Lost Dragon, but I have to double check. Sisa was the human antagonist throughout the movie, yes? Let's see here. Also a question from Jude 3300. What if MLP Gen 4 was going to have a Season 10, Beyond the Comics, and a bad thing from Gen 1, Wad, attacks Ponyville and a girl from Gen 1 comes back? By girl, I am assuming you mean Megan, which would be a human in Equestria. And I confess, human in Equestria, I've seen that played out in many a fandom setting, but honestly, I don't think that would work for this generation. That said, it's been a very long time since we had a human interact with ponies. It may be worth trying dusting that idea off. Oh, pardon me, I've been talking so straight, my throat's a little scratchy. See, this is why it helps to have music. I wonder if folks saying, "Oh my God, he did! He hath passed away while streaming. He went as he lived, yapping his head off." Okay, let's see here. Oh, Nomari was the antagonist of Raya. Wait, then Sisu was the dragon. Oh, yep, Red Gnome confirmed. Sisu was the dragon. Raya was the human, and Nomari was the human antagonist. Well, I mean, Sisu's pretty easy to get along with. I mean, she's trusting, perhaps to a fault. And, well, how do I put it? One who represents faith even though they don't know the outcome. Which in many ways she's channeling her inner fool. And honestly, you wouldn't be wrong in calling her such. She does things that are very foolish, but thankfully they work out, mostly because she doesn't just wait for someone to show their best self, she calls them to it. Oh, Keldo Studios, making a custom figure. The most of a custom figure I've ever tried making in real life was a Halo figure. I customized a Halo figure to look like my Halo Reach Spartan. And I was pretty pleased with the end result, but it took far more time than I figured, and honestly, it's not any quality I'd sell to someone. I have thought, what did it turn me on to? Look, resin and molding. I figure with the right molding and maybe a slower forming resin, I could make any number of pony customizations. Let's see here. Yes, the illustrious Q. I pity the fool. Well done. Oh, drinking buddy, you're trying to get revenge on Sweetie Bloom, but I was sure you two were, peas in a pod arguing about who needs to go to bed first. So, revenge on this Sweetie Bloom. I don't know if I can help with that. I am suffering a very real conflict of interests. Now the Inquisitor, you're waiting on some Lemus Rust tanks. Now, I confess, I do not know the difference between tanks and Warhammer. I do know that there are such things as Lemus Rust tanks. I know Fiara has told me that they are actually very impractical, that they wouldn't work as real tanks. But then, one does not look at the Warhammer universe and ask, is this practical? Because, sometimes it's just the sheer glory of it, the unfiltered whammo. William Ganas, I will give your greetings to everyone at Everfree Northwest, and I know they send you their best. Let's see here. Oh, yes, I mustn't forget Thespio. Be there for your performance at Saturday night's gala concert. Thespio, remind me when that is taking place. Because, look, I'll be wearing some gaudy outfits, but I don't know if I'll be gala appropriate. But yes, I will be gaudy. So gaudy. You will go, oh my god, I can't believe how gaudy he is. Alright, let's see here. Well, Amy Double Rainbow, I haven't made any custom pony figures. Forgive me, I'm also thinking aloud. As I am wont to do. It's actually something of a family trait. Both my parents think aloud, which made for very confusing messages growing up. Let's see. Okay, thank you, Sweetie Bloom. You can all catch Thespio at the Saturday Gala at 7 p.m. Now, I confess that is going to be a conflict as I've been invited to the Prance tournament, which is also at 7. So, we'll just have to see how this all plays out. But whatever the case, Thespio, I will be rooting for you and hoping you have a grand, glorious time. Let's see here. So far I've been modeling this fellow on, what do we call this? Yep, that's the Reboot Sonic. Let's see here. Let's get this guy a bit more barrel-chested. This OC is inspired by Sonic and has, well, a lot of similarities to the Blue Blur. And how can I describe this? One, I know Sonic OCs have a reputation. It's said that if you do a search for your name and the Hedgehog, you will find an OC. It's that prevalent. At the same time, I do not want to disparage people from making an OC and drawing inspiration from the show that they enjoy. I did much the same growing up with, well, any number of characters that had the powers of my favorite characters and more. I feel like that's something you do, especially when you're young. You emulate things you admire in order to get, as you gain a better understanding of yourself and who you want to be. And so, therefore, don't let people dissuade you from trying out an OC idea, but at the same time, be willing to accept the criticism that comes with it. Because usually, tone it down is a good suggestion. There's a Stephen King, on his book on writing, had a quote, a letter he got with a rejection in the mail that he has always wished he held on to. The final draft is your last version minus 10%. And he thought that was a really good suggestion, somewhat immortalized recommendation, and I agree. I like that concept. Good way to go. Your character can you can start off dreaming of a character who is just the next best thing to sliced bread, but then minus 10% it, then minus 10% that. And when you feel like you've got the core, I mean, if you minus 10% more, then you're suddenly removing a character. Then, my friends, you're on your way to a better representation, a better expression of creativity. Because that's much more approachable. And yes, as Master Clockwork quotes, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. But I don't think you're stupid, that's just how the acronym goes. Although in this day and age, I wouldn't be surprised if that's changed too. Oh. Ooh, Nora and Sweetie Bloom making plans to dance at the ball. At the gala. At the gala. At the gala. So, I'll tell you what, Drinking Buddy, if I can somehow encourage a shipping on that, I'll let you know. Though I'm sure both Nora and Sweetie will have words for me at Les Conventions. Alright. Sonic does tend to be rather straight-legged. Though I find it interesting. You notice in this... Whoa. Random zoom in. Unnecessary close-up. Whoa! The bend in his legs is such that it doesn't look like he has an actual skeleton. It's just kind of rubbery. But let's see here. What can we do to give this fellow a more... I feel like two straight legs. What can I do to give him a more original pose? Something... How do I put it? Something more. Crossing his legs is something that Standard Sonic, the main flagship of the franchise, namesake even, he does. What do you do when you want to pose and look nonchalant, but also cool? All right. I think I know what I want to do. Let's bring this forward a little. He's not going to be jutting his leg forward. Instead, we're going to put a little bend. Nonchalant's one of those words. It doesn't have a counterpart. I mean, you ever gone up to a friend and said, hey, I'm a little worried about you. You're looking pretty chalant. Is everything okay? Or said, oh, I felt so chalant in front of everyone there. It was awful. No, you don't say that. You just come on in all nonchalant. Oh, Purple Fire Kitty. You're always welcome. Don't feel you have to post, but I'm glad you can be a part as you do your own creative work. I still find it a little weird that people draw inspiration from my streams to do their own work. This is as much to keep me going. As I realized once again talking with Sweetie Bloom as we worked on our panel, I get more done when I'm interacting with people, when I have someone to keep me focused. It helps lessen resistance. In part because I don't want all of you to feel like you wasted your time listening to me yammer on. Let's see here. Enderpup, who's my favorite Sonic character? Well, it depends on where you look. Honestly, there's always Sonic. I mean, again, the main dude. But I feel like that's almost a cheat. So, I'm going to say Princess Sally from Sonic Sat AM and the Archie comics. Because you talk about having a great female character and all that goes with it. Sally is one of the best written female characters. She is determined, strong-willed, but not hostile or dismissive. She doesn't have to drag anyone else down for her to be a strong character. And as a result, I really enjoy her. And I wish she could be more prevalent in the Sonic franchise. I mean, like, Sonic had a, quote, friendship with a human princess. It's like, now, let's bring back the acorn, please. Bring back the squirrel. Squirrel! So, Princess Sally, or heck, if you just want to make her Sally Acorn, doesn't have to be royalty even. I mean, maybe that's another thing. she's not defined by her title, even though it is a part of her. Remember, her family creed was rule with honor. At least she didn't say, oh. Wouldn't have been funny if their family creed was robots are coming. And Eddard Stark is like, yeah, that's my girl. I'm playing around with the shoes just a little. The thing is, for this Sonic-inspired character, the design is mostly Sonic, but with a red coat. And I am going to try to test the bounds of how much can you make the character different while still staying true to what the person liked about Sonic. Mostly it is a desire to push the bounds towards more uniqueness, even if it's just a few cosmetic changes. Because, a cosmetic change can lead to a more permanent change. So let's start with these here shoes. Trying to add sort of a steel toe. Let's move this up a little. But I also think, what can one do with these? I don't know what you call it. What do you call these white sleeves, basically, on top of the shoes? They're not socks, as far as I can tell. Or if they are, they're very poofy socks. Ah, Nomo Ruiz Gallardo. Good to see you. And Fetch26291, encouraging to check out Chaos Croc on DeviantArt. Lots and lots of metal there. Metal as in Metal Sonic, or like it's just whoa, that's very metal. Metal. That'd be great. Death Clock is a bunch of Sonic fans. He is the fastest things alive. Yes, my personal heroes. Every time I tries to shred, I am trying to beat the Sonics. Ranchhog says they are socks. What can we do with Jan's socks to make them more... I mean, okay, I'll be honest. The higher socks go, usually, the less cool... You look, that's what was hinted at growing up. So definitely don't want to draw them up higher. But what can I do to maybe distinguish these socks from those socks? I don't yet know. Maybe it's more a case of extending them over the shoe. These are some really baggy socks. These are like you jump off, and instead of having to fall, his socks just inflate and he kind of gets to paraglide down. MC Hammer made that joke with his Hammerman cartoon, which was very odd. Fetch thinks that these were leg warmers that got scrunched down. Hunter Rangers thought they were the top of the shoe. Pull them up rather than dealing with laces, which is practical and smart. But man, I do not know. I do not know what these blessed things are. It's kind of funny, all this debate, and I don't know if anyone really knows what these are. I ask the burning questions that people need to answer. What are those things on Sonic shoes? Answer me, Sega Nintendo. I endured your war, I bought your consoles, now I deserve some answers. What are those things on Sonic shoes? Okay, the whole baggy look it looks more like his shoes are melting. That wasn't, not so good, not so good. Featherfall, give the socks go faster stripes? I don't know. But I am thinking, let's add a little three-dimensionalness to these. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, come on. Select the whole thing. Thank you. And we want to deselect those corners and just round out these corners just a little. The idea here being that this character has some fastenings on the shoe rather than a giant buckle. Because again, that's more Sonic's thing, and we want to, it's always good to aim for your own distinct look. Now, I may get feedback from the commission, from the Patreon supporter saying, no, I'd really want it to look this way. Which, this is why I like vectors. You can experiment. You can go back and change your approach. Photoshop and digital painting can look gorgeous, but it's like mixing and drying paint. You have to, it's going to take a lot to bounce back. Vectors are a bit more forgiving in time frame. And so that's why I've actually come to rely on them more. Originally, I thought I was more adept at Photoshop, but that's definitely changed in my time vectoring. Let's see. Fetch is quoting from the Sonic Fan Wiki. Purple, I don't know if I gave any real art advice. I mean, mostly I'm just saying why I like vectors more. But I definitely want to say I have seen gorgeous pieces done with digital painting, usually in either Photoshop or its equivalent. In fact, going back very briefly to Games Workshop, for those who are not fans of the Warhammer franchise or not up to speed on this, Games Workshop announced a zero tolerance policy for anyone creating animations using their intellectual property. This forced a lot of creators to look at their channels and say, oh, I can't keep doing this, including one of my personal favorites, If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device, a series in which the God Emperor of Mankind, and though he says you totally shouldn't treat him like a god, but you do, he is unable to talk on his own, so they install a text-to-speech, and he is trying to unravel the mess that is his Imperium, thousands of years after he was originally lost. And I will say, if you check out the last episode and you feel a little heartbreak by the end, read the pinned comment to know this was not an intended end, and they don't want to leave you hanging so they can explain what happened. But, Games Workshop, why is it a bad idea to suddenly say we're not going to tolerate our fans' work? Because, here's the thing. Intellectual property and copyright protection, it's all about telling a story in and of itself. You have to show that you've put effort into protecting your brand. Otherwise, it runs the risk of becoming generic. Kleenex, the facial tissue company, and Xerox, the copying company, they spent millions of dollars on rebranding campaigns because phrases like, I'll Xerox it and can you hand me that Kleenex? They were becoming generic. It meant any copier, any tissue. And that was actually going to move their brands to generic. They would have lost thousands, millions really, in branding ability. And let's be fair. Fan works and fan art have always occupied a gray area. They are technically using someone else's intellectual property, but it's very foolish to reject your own fans, which is why I think Games Workshop made a bad policy with this. There are other ways to protect one's intellectual property, including, well, highlighting these as fan works. You say, this is a fan work of our property, and we celebrate it, but let's be clear, it's fan work. So, Sweetie Bloom points out that rollerblade and frisbee suffered similar struggles because everyone sort of assumed that was the generic term, not a specific brand. So as far as I can tell, Games Workshop is trying to say, hey, this is our property, we're defending it. But it's like trying to show you're tough by attacking the wrong person. Something that actually makes you look more of a bully than someone trying to stand up for themselves. To put it in pony terms, someone wants to establish themselves as bold as Rainbow Dash, so the first pony they stand up to is Fluttershy. Does not work. So I'm hoping that they will issue a correction or find a better way to protect their intellectual property than coming down on fans. In fact, this is a reflection of a greater struggle as intellectual property is hotly debated. And I heard from my friends Kaiju no Kami and Kruelka, Japanese companies are especially leaning down on this, even denying people the ability to cosplay as characters. Now, I gotta ask you, where is the sense in turning on cosplayers? Not only are they great to feature in social media, they are free advertising for your story, for your shows. I went to Anime Expo way back, like I'm thinking 2012, 2013. Or was it even more recent? It was several years past. I looked around and I saw all these people wearing what looked like flight jackets and giant toasters on their hips. And there was one guy walking around in a cosplay that was just muscles, no skin. And that is how I learned of Attack on Titan. Oh wow, even adults are not allowed to cosplay as characters in the park. Preston, would I cosplay as Fluttershy? If you check out the end of my Scaremaster review, I do. But my cosplay promises are set on if we can get Imulu art to BabsCon next year, I would happily dress as Pip's cell phone. You are right, Thespio. Turning on your fans is a recipe for disaster. But often I wonder, what does the world look like to someone who is an executive of a billion-dollar franchise? It's certainly a lot different from the world where I am. That does not excuse bad choices, but I do wonder about the difference and what they consider to be acceptable. All right. So, let's see here. I think I'm getting more distinct here. Still really unsure about this toe. That's a phrase I never thought I'd hear. I'm really unsure about this tone. Does this look gangrenous to you? Red Gnome correctly points out that Disney seems to own half the world. I'm amazed they haven't made a play for Hasbro just yet. Although if they did, would that mean that Celestia, Luna, Twilight Cadence, and Pip would all, and Flurry Heart would join the Disney Princess lineup? Hey princesses, do you need some throat lozenge? Because you have a little horse. Oh, Fetch is letting me know that Lightning Bliss is on Friday Night Fights. I'm not sure I know what Friday Night Fights is. Oh, Trinary. Trinary. Now I know Trinary is my friend, for he has said those 3 immortal words. I hate you, Silver. I hate you. So, okay, the Silver is silent, but still. That's how I know I'm friends with someone. I have a very curious grasp on friendship. You know, I never appreciated how weird Sonic's shoes are until now. You know what? Maybe I'm trying too hard to make them pointed. I think I should take a look from, what is this, Sonic Adventures version? Maybe more rounded is the way to go. Let's see here. Oh, I'm mentioning all manner of pony princesses. I forgot Majesty of G1. Never featured in the cartoon, but honestly, she may be more godlike than people claim Celestia to be. And even then, she still got kidnapped. There is something about putting on a princess crown or some manner of royalty that just screams kidnap me. And it just keeps happening. Uh-oh. My chat has been disconnected. Can you all still see me? Come on, YouTube, reconnect me. Let me know I'm still talking to my peeps. Ah, re-established. I see Elizabeth the Cat and Gallant Echo commenting, so that's good. Gallant says, I think every time I have a dream that Sonic somehow enters into Nintendo, part of my brain sues. I would love to see a litigation of someone's own mind being sued. It's like, Your Honor, I'd like to sue my brain because it's doing things I can't even understand. Objection, that's the subconscious at work. Okay, I like that a little bit better. Have you ever paused to consider that Sonic's feet must be ginormous? I mean, I know, same with his hands. I think there's something about the clothing that keeps us from being too freaky. Champ to stay, what is the weirdest thing you've ever seen in a store? Champ? I have seen many things in many stores, not all of which are permissible here in what is, I try to be family friendly. Emphasis on try. So, I'm not sure I can answer that in good faith. Although, a quick aside to Sweetie Bloom, Sweetie, I've always believed that you're my friend, but you are rather light on the insults by comparison. Also, welcome Featherfall 101. Good to have you. I like the idea of having the sock fold over itself. Let's see how this looks. But, let's see here. All right, I will give you all a story. This is perhaps not the weirdest thing I've ever seen in a store, but it was something very odd. Was that a Hot Topic? Trying to figure out joke gifts to give at an upcoming convention. In fact, it was, of all things, Everfree Northwest. So I'm looking through Hot Topic, and I'm not the Hot Topic crowd. I don't know what they have. So of all things, I spy with my little eye a cologne in the form of a hand grenade. It's a very tiny hand grenade, but it's a cologne, and I have no idea why. This is one of the strangest things because I think, one, how am I going to get this to Everfree Northwest? I cannot, I can't bring it in a carry-on. One, it's a liquid. Two, it's shaped like a hand grenade. And yet I endeavor to do so and succeed because, and this is important, the voice actor for Cranky Doodle Donkey, who was also the voice actor for Rhinox in Beast Wars, and none of you will likely remember this. He was the voice actor for Mr. Big in the Power Team, a villain who used cigar-themed weapons, including rocket launchers and grenades, all springing from a cigar spout smoking kills. So I resolved, from that hot topic, I went to a place called the Wizard's Toy Chest, or the Wizard's, it's Toy Chest. It's this great store where I live that has all manner of costumes and props and board games, a bit of everything. And so I found a joke cigar, and I went home and using a little Gorilla Glue to prop things up, I glued the grenade cologne to the cigar and left it overnight so it could harden, and then I painted over the glue so I could gift this to the voice actor and remind him that what was his first, and at the time he thought last, production was a mobster who fights a narc cop, a barbarian, a talking monster truck, an NBA All-Star, and an anthropomorphic tomato. That was the power team, and I swear I wasn't on anything when I watched this. I didn't need to be. I love Sweetie Bloom is telling me that I need to take better care of myself and spend my time wisely. To which Drinking Betty says, "You too, Miss Potts." Yes, Miss Pot calling the kettle, even though she's totally right. You know that old saying that you're pointing out the splinter in someone's eye while you have a log in your forehead? Well, it doesn't change the fact that that person still has a splinter. I don't know why, but there's a certain Mickey Mouse feel to this smile. Ha ha! I own half your world! Ha ha! Coming for the other half! Oh, you think Games Workshop is bad now? Ha ha! Wait till you have Mouse Hammer 40,000! Wait, I actually want to see that now. Egads, what have I done? Oh, what is this debate I see over on YouTube? Oh, no. You've never heard that expression, Trinary? It's, I believe, Confucianism. Though I couldn't cause Confucianism as a result. And then the infamous... You know, there's some weird thing about Sonic and his weird mono eye. He's technically a Cyclops, even though he has two pupils. If I go really down here, it looks wicked, cruel. But it does kind of bug me that it's just really one eye. Oh, welcome, Master Ghidorah. You are not late to the party. You are on time for yourself. Let's see here. Champ to Stay says better than a bendy-looking face. Preston Cox says I'm a splinter. You're a towel. Oh, you were saying, saying congratulations, you're young. All right. Silver Blaze, but with a Y, says hypothetical question. You face Josh Scorcher in a Celestia versus Luna cosplay chess game. Who do you recruit for your side? Well, let's see here. There are Luna fans abound, so I almost feel like I'd have an excess of teammates. A happy problem. Definitely Sweetie Bloom. I think she would actually organize the game better than I ever could. Anthony C., who would add commentary and great insight. Mad Munchkin, which I guess does come with a price. It would also feature Mary Sue. I'm the best chess piece ever. Oh God, she would be the queen, wouldn't she? Oh goodness. That would be quite painful, I'm sure. Who else is an active Luna fan? Golden Fox is an active Luna fan. Red Gnome is Team Luna. There you go. Oh, there we go. Thaddeus for sure is also Luna fans. Yeah, I got all manners of I got all manners of Luna fans here. But no, I don't think the Wolfie Wolf. I think he would sign on with Josh. I don't know his preference on favorite princess, but I suspect he'd back Josh up regardless. And I will respect that. But I will still strive to crush them, yes. Because that's how I roll. Oh, Nikki, thank you for the wonderful compliment on my latest video. I will strive not to take several months to get the next video out. Focus right now is on Everfree, but then it's taking a lot of what we discussed about the designs for G5 from last week's stream and applying those ideas towards a full video. And then it's been quite some time since I just did an episode review. I really should get back to that. Let's see here. How can we further... Oh, idea. Let's see here. Seems more Sonic style to have this eyebrow kind of go over an arch. Yep. By the way, is everyone hearing me okay? Is the music too loud? Oh, Thaddeus, you are absolutely right. Josh is married to a Luna fan. But would I divide a house as such? Would I make... Oh, what am I saying? I would make Ari a knight so that she could crown Josh good. Oh, what's that? There's a scene from A Strong Bad Email where he goes on a royal rampage. I bequeath thee, I bequeath thee, I bequeath thee, and smacking someone with the scepter. Ye have quivered me tuppence. I don't know if you all can remember The Strong Bad, but he's one of the most awesome things on the internet. Actually, funny enough, my coworkers and I were recalling the early days of online animation. Oh, I forget the title. It's where they blow up the world. Okay. So, here's the world, just chillin'. Dang, that is a sweet earth, you might say. Kristen C. 555. Thank you for following. That's wonderful of you. And yes, Preston, I am an old man. What? Champ, why am I not using the rim shot after every joke? One, I'm heavily involved in trying to figure out how this Sonic-inspired character is going to look. And two, you don't want to overdo it with the rim shot. I mean, what can I say? I just marched to a beat of my own drum. Oh, hello, Katrina Raptus. Good to see you. Oh, and Lexon plays, Pepperidge Farm does remember. Pepperidge Farm will always remember. Let's see here. What else can we do? Oh, let's try adding an extra spike up nya. There we go. Looking a little bit different now, a little bit more distinct. Less sure about that smile all of a sudden, though. The lopsided smile is Sonic's thing. What happens if I make it really... Well, that actually makes it look more evil. I need... It's a little bit better. Thing is with eyes, the sharper the angle, the crueler a character can look. Now, Sonic's got the whole attitude thing going. But what about a slightly kinder look? Sweetie thinks it goes too high up the cheek. I like that input. Yes. Yes, I think that looks a little bit more unique. Let's also nudge this cheek line to match it. It's looking better. Oh, Red Gnome, this is not I in Sonic style. This is a Patreon supporter's request that I wish to fulfill. I don't have a Sonic Sona, but then, well, bloody hell, they took Silver the Hedgehog already. Like, actual Silver the Hedgehog in a game. I can't even claim copyright because Silver, you can't copyright Silver. It's kind of universal. So if I were to ever make a Sonic Sona, it would have to be some other creature. But then maybe why not a hippogriff? You've got, okay. As much as I like Sally as a character for the Sonic set AM, I always kind of wish Dulcie the Dragon got a bit more development screen time. Mostly I know her as the dragon that always crash landed. She's a flippin' dragon. I'm amazed she isn't used in more aggressive campaigns. Oh no, Pokemon Fire Eevee. Why, oh wait, sorry. It's Pokemon Fire Eevee. Yep. What makes Silver the Hedgehog so terrible? I know he was in a game. I played that game, or tried to, back in the days when Blockbuster did rentals. Yes, that long ago. What was it about Silver, or perhaps the whole blessed game, that didn't work? For me, it was the concept that Sonic was actually moving kind of slow. Then there were those really dumb levels where you weren't reacting to what was coming. You were looking behind Sonic, so it was really a memorization game of what was coming next. Oh, Inquisitor, you wound me. Asking what's a Blockbuster. I think you just performed Exterminatus on my age. Let's see here. So Pig Boss is remembering a Sonic short where Eggman blew up the Earth. Where did that go? I haven't heard about that. Javier Febronio. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name. I have not seen Space Jam 2. I have heard mostly negative things about it. I don't know if anyone's... Look, granted, the original Space Jam was not what I would call stirring cinema. But it had its charm. This Space Jam, it seems like the big issue I hear from people is that now Bugs actually seems to be a hindrance to the character's progress. And, this is important, much like Ready Player One, there are a wealth of recognizable characters, but none of them are actively participating. Ergo, you basically just have cosplayers. Preston, I feel like arm wrestling Sisu wouldn't be a problem. It's if she has relatively short arms. It's if she tries to then use her body to flex that I probably would get lifted off the ground and thrown out of the arena. And I would scream, "You cheated!" Oh, Hawkfire, don't feel old. I guarantee you I can feel older. Guys, I tell you true, one of the greatest hunts for a video game I ever had was Shadows of the Empire. for N64. It didn't matter where you looked, no matter how many blockbusters you called, because internet searching was not a thing as far as I'm aware back then. It was out of stock everywhere. It was the N64 game for a while. And I was so happy when I finally got to play it, fell in love with that snowspeeder level. But man, it was like, it came out at the start of the year, and I couldn't find a copy for myself until December. It was worth the wait, however. Master Ghidorah 91. Anyone heard of Sonic 06? That one I don't recall. All right, but yes, I think Sonic. Oh man, I don't even remember the name of the game. It was the one with Silver the Hedgehog. Oh, loves to Oh dear. Person who has a screen name that is mean towards dogs. I appreciate you following, but I'm not going to repeat that online. No, sir. I thought it said loves cute dogs. Not quite. Ah, well. Screen names are a fickle business. Honestly, I'm surprised there's not a game streamer out there who just logs onto a game and critiques screen names in the hub world. Come on, we've all seen a funny or strange screen name. We're just like, where did that come from? Hello, loves. Thank you for joining us. Let's see here. Silverblaze wondering, so I remember getting into your channel from you being a fan of Toku. What's your favorite Kamen Rider series? Without question, it would be Kamen Rider Guy. As I knock stuff over. Kamen Rider Guy. Which is weird because it started as one of the dumbest ideas I'd ever seen. Sort of a cross between Pokemon and Dynasty Warriors. But it changed and matured very quickly, to the point where I was really looking forward to the overall story. And I was just like, how did this happen? It started out as just sort of a dance-off territory game set in Japan, with common riders eventually battling for glory, but now they're fighting for the survival of the human race. Now let's see here. I'm not going to have the thumb extended here. You know what? I like Fetch. I'm going to call him L2. L2 sounds good. Which... Let's see here. Statler and Waldorf are too old for gaming? You never know. They could still make fun. Oh! Jeff would like to know, if I were to give Pipsqueak a cutie mark, what would it be? What do we know about Pip so far? What could be a hint of his special talent? He seems to... It's weird. He sets the stage for so many. And in a weird way is just the right time to... Well, things couldn't happen unless he set the stage. Diamond Tiara couldn't have redeemed if he hadn't have been a part of the presidential race. Luna could not have reconnected with Ponyville, despite some confusion there. So, Pipsqueak is strangely valuable in that regard, but he's never the direct influencer. He's, you know what? Almost like a little helper. And Pipsqueak. What could you put? What would reinforce that name? Trying to think here. And yes, Magical Dude, he is British. From Trottingham. I don't know what would symbolize Britishness, though. A crumpet? Is his special talent being British? In a universe without a Briton? Teabag and British flag. Let's think about this. You know what? How about a little pair of angel wings? Because he's just so preciously helpful. But what would they be sprouting from? What's a symbol for help? Actually, forgive me if I just do a quick YouTube search. Oh dear, this wouldn't work. The symbol for help is two hands shaking, taking on the form of a heart. Well, I like the heart aspect, but Pip probably would freak out. What are those things? What are they doing on my cutie mark? Poor boy. Well, let's put a pin in that for a minute. Heart and wings. Ooh, that is, I like your idea. A buried gem sprouting angel wings. I like that idea. The only reason, Enderpup, I don't go with a heart is I feel like a heart is rather common in MLP. So much so that even I used it for Clutterstep's cutie mark. I feel like there's that need to try to be distinct, as I'm trying for with this Sonic OC. But I'm going to have to hit the pause button in short order. Let's get this hand finished. And then we're going to switch gears, because now I need to make good on Sweetie Bloom's comment that I make things harder for myself. And you'll all see why. A horseshoe with angel rings, Red Gnome. But a horseshoe implies luck. I wouldn't... oh, excuse me. I wouldn't say Pip enjoys luck. It's like he's sort of there. He's fulfilling a purpose, and I don't want to just chalk that up to mere luck. Equestria does revolve very heavily along the concepts of fate and destiny. And let's see here, just a quick... Let's book just a quick cuff to help distinguish Jan. Actually, there's a question. I shall have to give some thought as to what we can do with the gloves on this boy so he can look more distinct than Sonic's trademark gloves. But for the time being, I think this is good progress. I'm just doing a quick save here. So I think I'm doing okay in trying to find a slightly different look. Just enough to give this character some distinctiveness. Preston Cox, a boot to the head. Oh! Let's see here. Do I have a boot to the head sound effect? Boxing glove? Huh. Nope, gonna need to look into that. Physical harm sound effect. Rebecca, I have not seen Sonic's new movie. I have... should I put this? I've seen an anime Sonic OVA. And all the weirdness that goes with it. Including the headache that is Sarah. I don't know if you... You know, I talk a lot about Silver's game and the human princess there, but she is leagues better than Sarah. Ugh. Now, pardon me one sec. You're going to hear some snapping sound effects, like a photo snap, as I try to gather information. Master Ghidorah 91, my favorite Robotnik, or Eggman, certainly from Sonic Sat AM. Oh, he had this chilling voice and just this love of being, well, awful. Oh, yes. Honestly, I don't think I ever got to hear a villain as deep and resonant as he until, or as delightfully evil until Beast Wars Megatron. Okay, there's only 3. So, what am I up to now? This will be web size. Create. Oh, Little Heart and Nikki W. I think you're both onto something with a compass. I'm still kind of sold on the angel wings, though. Don't know why I'm harping on that, but a compass helping others find their way or navigating difficult situations, that sounds very nice and apropos. Yes, very apropos. Now, let's see here. Page setup. How big is this? 10 by 5.63. And no, I don't want points. I want a 10-inch width by 5.63 size. Marvelous. Oh, yeah. Well, hey, I remember the Sonic cartoon the Nostalgia Critic commented on, and yeah, I can't blame him for going a little bonkers over it. So, here's the thing. For our Elements of Shipping panels, Sweetie Bloom and I are using a PowerPoint presentation, and Sweetie is very utilitarian. Look forward to a very informative panel with her do's and don'ts of animal care and Fluttershy. Me, I tend to get how shall I put it? Basically, I go too far on the presentation and end up making more work for myself. That's the long and the short of it. So, I got this template free on the net, but you can't edit the photo. So I worry that throughout the whole blessed panel, people are going to be wondering, hey, who are those two? So, I am going to recreate this template using Adobe Illustrator. And then I can put ponies in the little heart areas. But, as Sweetie Bloom rightly points out, this makes more work for me. You know what? I will do it though, because you all are worth it. You all give feedback and invest your time in my work, and I want you all to have fun watching my work. And I believe this is one way to help make it fun. Also, I say this every time the song comes up, but being a fan of Neebs Gaming, and including their animated Among Us, the music you're hearing is their theme music for that. YouTube compliant, of course. So every time I hear this, I envision chucking someone out an airlock. I don't know if that's healthy. Watch that. One of the questions will be, if you could chuck anyone out an airlock, who would it be? And the fact that I have a list that I actually could answer that troubles me to no end. Yes, Fetch, PowerPoint is still a thing. Though, Q is also putting together a PowerPoint. He uses the online drive version, which, gotta be honest, has a bit handier an animation sequence. Also, props to the illustrious Q. He got an Everfree template going. There we go. Let's see here. Purple Fire Kitty would like to know, can you give any ideas for backgrounds you could use to make a character bio on? Well, I suppose the question is, who is the character, and is this environment positive to them or hostile? Because a positive environment is going to be their home turf. It's where they're most comfortable. But say an adventurer you may find in a very hostile environment. Place where they're not supposed to be, and yet here they are persevering. Now, as for who would be on the list of folks I would chuck out an airlock, Jar Jar Binks, certainly. Whoever invented the tie, not a TIE fighter, mind you, just the regular tie around the neck. I'm convinced that they were inspired by the gallows. Let's see here. Whoever first said, "Oh, social media, that can only be positive." You fool! Let's see here. Who else might get an airlock treatment? Who needs a breath of fresh air? Maybe a little too fresh. So here's the thing. I don't want to actually crack wise about a real-life person. That's pretty dark. Oh, whoever invented high heels. That just seems like torture, and I don't even wear them. And when even a guy who doesn't wear it could go, "Ooh, that must be painful." Yeah, you know that it's bad. Actually, I'm privately convinced now that fashion designers are at least a little bit sadistic. Makes me kind of wonder about rarity now. My mind goes such strange places. But yes, Preston Cox, if I were in Equestria, I think asking rarity out and getting shot down would be on the list. Because as pointed out, even if your waifu existed, would she really want to go out with you? Oh, that's the bitter pill, ain't it, folks? But anyway, this gets into odd territory, to be sure. I'm actually thinking of DWK right now. Silver. Thoughts I've seen a Kamen Rider Revice. I confess I haven't seen anything of Revice. I'm assuming, however, that is the dinosaur-themed Kamen Rider that's up and coming. And it's fun. It's funny. My friend Kaiju no Kami, who's the one who introduced me to Kamen Rider, and is a much more passionate tokusatsu fan than I. He's actually tired of dinosaur themes. Where even though we were introduced to all this through Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and heck, the thing that really caught me was robot dinosaurs. We have seen a lot more dinosaur themes in the last couple Super Sentai. Only a little bit in Kamen Rider, though. I think the last dinosaur thing I saw was in Kamen Rider O's, where one of his power-ups was dinosaur themed. Okay. Purple Fire Kitty following up on, let's see here. For this background idea, a streamer Army OC, and the pose I want is for making the bio is in a zone and chill doing what she does best. All right, so it's a gamer at a base. So you want to convey that this is a gamer, but also in the military, which conveys an idea of tougher living conditions. Again, I think back to Everfree Northwest, where the illustrious Q dropped a tooth bomb on Firebrand, that Air Force would get hazard pay for living in Army barracks. So, here's my suggestion, and this may sound a little weird. I remember seeing a documentary of Army units in Afghanistan who would live in modified storage containers. You know, those big freighter containers you see loading up on cargo ships. They would install air conditioning in it, and there'd be like a bunk bed or beds bolted. And I'm assuming a power line. What if you had the confines of that, and in the very back of the container is a game console with the screen illuminating the interior? Therefore, you convey both the love of gaming and doing what your character does best, but also living in tougher conditions, i.e. a military base. Princess Luna, well, I tend to bounce around in my conversations, but we are talking about how could a background convey information about a character for a biopic. And as the character in question is both a gamer but part of a military, that's how you can combine the two, at least I think. Now, Toakoi says that the newest Kamen Rider is going to be based on a T-Rex and stamps. Like, postal stamps? Like, is this writer going to have to lick their transformation device to get it to activate? I don't like that idea. In fact, I think that would look rather freaky. What kind... Is there a different stamp to which you were referring? Because I am confused. Preston, have a good night. And for the record, no, I would not fight the dragon of Ryan the Last Dragon because she's way too nice. I don't want to fight someone who's nice. There's no reason to fight someone who's nice. Now, if fighting someone would somehow yield greater benefit to a larger number of people, and I wouldn't be doing, like, harm to a kind person, everyone can talk. But I find more often that finding a solution to a problem is better than busting heads. Even though, I admit, daydreams and stories, I do love a good fight. A fictional fight is awesome, a real-life fight is tragic. Let's see here. This is slightly gray. Nope, didn't get the gray. Attempt to stay. My favorite outside activity is going inside. No, so let's be serious here. What? Bike rides are fun. My dad would go kayaking on a reservoir, and I would bring my bike along, and I'd just go along the trail. He'd do his thing. I'd be nearby to help get it loaded back in his car. But, yeah, that was fun. Except for one day where I hadn't biked in so long, the screw on my handlebar had come loose. So I nearly go off the side. And I have to walk it back to the car to get it tightened up again. And people were really nice. They're like, "Are you okay?" Because they see me walking with my bike. And yeah, I'm fine. I just can't actually use it right now. I have not gotten to go biking, though, in a while. Now, I confess, my proud Irish heritage means that I skip the tanning phase completely and go straight to burnination. It's not a good feeling. So that's what makes me kind of hesitant. I think if I were to go biking again, either I'd like to go with my dad, or, well, revisit familiar turf I haven't gotten to see in a while. Including maybe that reservoir. Ideas. Although my poor dad, he was kayaking in another area, and there was a boat competition. And the announcer on this loudspeaker saying, "Okay, the turnaround point is, well, you see where that guy in the kayak is?" My dad looks around like, "What? No, don't make me the turning point." I don't know. It's like, yeah, don't turn a person into your reference. No, well, you've missed some strange ideas from my little old self, but that should be nothing new. Let's see here. I think my strangest thought tonight is a Mickey Mouse themed Warhammer. What would you even call that? The Legion's Mousicus? The Mouserific Legion? Of course, then you would have to have some sort of Donald Duck Chaos Space Marine. Little Heart, let's check. Little Heart tells me to pop on over to Twitter. Sorry, little... Oh, there we are. Ah, this is the puppy you've been working on, for your friend. That's looking wonderful. Oh, well, I guess it's poor manners if I only talk about, oh, that looks so nice, and then I leave everyone to guess, well, what's he talking about? So. This is what Little Heart is Oh, wait. Wow, that was dumb. Little Heart, I should make sure this isn't going to spoil it for your friend. Enderpup, why are you saying sorry, Quill? Donald Duck's my favorite Disney character. Oh, okay. Okay. This will not spoil it for Little Heart's friend. I would feel bad if I'd made that mistake. But this is wood burning. And I'm very impressed by this technique. I still don't know what kind of tool you use, Little Heart, but I think that looks delightful. And I greatly appreciate the one you did for Wrigley. Huh. Purple Fire Kitty. Anyone know what Twitch's policy is on drawing of weapons? Honestly, I don't think I've never known a policy where you can't draw a weapon. It's how that weapon is being used that is often subject to scrutiny. I mean, look, I love the idea of swords. I think they have a romantic imagery to them. So drawing a sword is great. Drawing someone attacking with a sword may be a different issue. Ah, okay, here it is. This is... Okay, and I also appreciate the somewhat free plug of my own stream. Let's see this. This is the burning tool used by Little Heart to achieve burnination. Yep, come on, you. There we are. Now, that point is literally red hot, so I hope you are exercising care. But interesting device. I'm assuming it plugs into a wall outlet. But that's something else. So that means the image you did of Wrigley and the one you're doing of your friend, all hand carved or burnt. That's impressive hand control. I salute you. Applause. You're right, Thaddeus, it does almost look like a Puron power cord. But hopefully one never gets mixed up and plugs that into anything. Oh, I need to charge my iPhone. Scratch that. I need a new iPhone. Can you believe Apple's not even paying me for product placement? Let's see here. Purple Fire. Character mentions holding 3 knives and has a weapon in a strap on her waist. Well, a holstered weapon, especially in a military setting, I don't think anyone can object to that. Now, if that were a holstered weapon in a different setting, that might raise warning signs. But if you're on a military base, that seems, well, expected. I'm reminded of MASH. Love that show. Hawkeye is officer of the watch, I think, for the day. And with that comes the responsibility to carry a sidearm. Now, Hawk is despite his general attitude, he is very compassionate and refuses to even carry a gun. So he leaves the gun unloaded, I'm assuming, and just puts his thumb and forefinger out, puts in the holster and draws. Fastest hands in the West. And that's very true. You know what? I'm not going to follow this point for point. I like these hearts more. So let's go with that. Yep. But yes, I guess I should have added a caveat. Drawing a weapon in relation to the background, there are settings, I think, that where a weapon would definitely not be appropriate. A church, a school. I know people have their own very strong opinions on this, but I don't want those anywhere near such settings. Now, a battlefield, an uncharted land, an open expanse with maybe some hints of hostility, that is where such a thing is expected and maybe exceptionally necessary. Welcome, Sky Talon. Oh. Sikri, I appreciate that you're addicted to my comic reviews on Equestria Daily. I'm glad you enjoy. Oh yes. This is life kind of adding. Dogpiling even. In addition to going to Everfree Northwest next week, there's a brand new comic coming out. I gotta get that review done before I go to Everfree. Egads. Maybe I should just forego sleep over this weekend. And this is the part where Sweetie Bloom goes, no! Did I not? There we are. Yes, I called it. Sweetie Bloom's reply just cropped up on my chat window. And yes, she definitely agrees that is not a good plan. And you know what? She's right. Well, sometimes in life you just got to do the best you can, but but also learn to let go. Otherwise, you'll always be fighting a fruitless battle. What are you? Okay. I think I did that wrong. A little further. Further. There we go. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3. I only need those 2. I'll tell you true. Sweet Bloom and I were working on the PowerPoint for this presentation. This is when I realized I needed to redesign these intros or these backgrounds. And I was having the devil's own task getting just 3 bands of text to animate in. They just never wanted to do what seemed so simple. Like, why are you fighting me? Why do you hate me? Text, I only wish to animate and give you life. Okay, let's make this 30%. Nope, 50%. There we are. Background 1. Yep, there's several backgrounds to be done here. Thankfully, with the elements set in 1, I can copy them over a bit easier. So let's see here. This is going on my portable hard drive. And shipping panel. Shipping. I will also be spending part of tomorrow just animating some text with the illustrious Q on our ADW presentation. I think you guys will enjoy a talk of our favorite and least favorite. Oh, now, Kamodra, I'll tell you true, Sweetie Bloom takes care of pretty much the entire Brony YouTuber group, at least the ones I work with. She is kind of the team mama, and she reminds us to take breaks for ourselves. So I would not discount her input. If anything, she's the voice of health for the group. Never ignore the voice of health. Though, I do declare, there we go. You know what? I'm just gonna extend this outwards. Extend this outwards. And there you go. Now we're looking swell. Let's see here. Trinary, it is pretty much from the entire library of IDW. Although I admit, well, we'll talk about Equestrian Girls. Oh, I also need to give a shout out to Sorena Leo and Purple Fire Kitty encouraged me not to stay up all weekend, get some sleep, and take care of myself. I appreciate when people are looking out for my health, even if I suggest otherwise. Now let's see here. We're back desktop. I need my second screenshot. With this one, I'm thinking we need to we need to make a little bit more space because that couple is practically falling off the page there. I realize that you want to give space to the text, but we also want to be able to see the couple in question, which again will be Pony Couple. I have no idea who these two are, but may I just ask, would anyone really wear this plaid striping to their wedding day? That doesn't seem right. It seems like a bad start. I can't see that. Maybe it's a new look which I just do not fully appreciate. Master Ghidorah, I am happy when I can inspire people with creativity. I don't know if I want to inspire insomnia, though. Also, always remember, these streams will be on a playlist. You just need to check the playlist section of my channel. But they're never gone. If you need to get some sleep or just, feel like calling it an early night, or just calling it a night regardless, that I would never resent you for taking care of yourself. So don't feel like you have to stay up. But I'm grateful for the company and the input. Now let's see here. Well, okay, Sweetie Bloom. Yes, it is his wedding, but, well, hang on. His bride, and I'm assuming his bride, she's going with the traditional white. I think this happy couple needs some fashion counseling. Although, honestly, when I look at this, well, the back of the heads of this happy couple, I keep picturing that, generic photo that comes with the picture frame you just bought. It's like, hello, generic family. Kristen C. 555. Thoughts on Super Mario Galaxy? I admit I have not played it, which makes this a bit difficult. But, how about this? Mario in space. And having kind of fun with that. I mean, part of what's fun about the Mario franchise is that the fantasy, it doesn't even try for practicality, and that's part of the fun. It embraces. It's a video game, so it has a universe that supports that. Now that's different than, say, The Legend of Zelda, where in a weird way you're still trying to have a fully functioning Hyrule. Something that you could believe was an actual fantasy kingdom. Hence why I love Ocarina of Time so much. It's probably my favorite Zelda game. So, night and day. So, even though I have not played Mario Galaxy, I've seen snippets of it. And it's just fun to envision an entire galaxy like that, designed to support the Super Mario style. I mean, that would be a pretty kick. Being an astronomer in that universe would be wild. Okay, I see a new constellation. I also see a plumber in red overalls jumping through that constellation. I am now checking my blood alcohol content. Because I gotta admit, that's going to be a weird day. Oh, now, Jude. Let's see here. ADHD Kid 1234. I'm glad that there'll always be a fan of my cheesy humor. It's my favorite. It's all Gouda. Let's see here. Jude 3300 wants to know my thoughts on Ace Attorney. Now, I sampled the latest Ace Attorney courtesy of Firebrand at the very last Crystal Mountain PonyCon. Or was it Pony Fest? But either way, and I know from Turnabout Friendship, but guys, I have a slight confession to make. I am more frustrated by Phoenix Wright. Because for a brief period in my life, I worked as a paralegal. And I do have a respect for the law and its idea of precedent, its burdens. It is by no means flawless. It is ever evolving, ever in need of being challenged. But I appreciate that it has certain safeguards and always want those to be kept. Phoenix Wright is about a dark period in Japanese law. Now, I don't know the Japanese legal system that well, but it seems to be a dark period where you're guilty until proven innocent, and speculation, the fact that the person could have done this, is enough to convict them. Whereas the concept here in America is you have to be beyond a reasonable doubt. And so Phoenix Wright, while I'm sure fascinating to mystery fans, I find a little frustrating because it's taking a part of the law I hold very personal and saying, well, nope, we gotta undermine that for the sake of the story. And I guess I'm not as chill with that. Oh no, Nikki W., I was not a lawyer. No, that my father has been a lawyer. I was a paralegal. Now, Enderpup, me being lawful good, I can have an appreciation, even as I may break the rules. Actually, I've had this frustration for a while. Not about Ace Attorney. For an episode like 28 Pranks Later, where you kind of ask the question, well, are the ponies right to prank Rainbow Dash to teach her that pranking is bad, or that thoughtless pranking is bad? You're breaking your own convictions to defend them. Way back in my high school days, a teacher showed us an old black and white movie about a fencing instructor. And to reel in this unruly and disrespectful student, he had to discard his pacifism to essentially whoop this kid in a fencing match. And he declared, "You forced me to break my rules to defend them." I've always wanted to get a clip of that, but I cannot remember the name of the movie. And it's so old. And even like doing a search for like fencing instructor movie doesn't turn up anything. I'm just coming up blank. I would love to use that clip in a video, but I can't find it. It's lost to my memory for the most part. So I guess with Ace Attorney, like Apollo Justice, I know in that story, Phoenix Wright actually breaks the law to defend it by introducing a false piece of evidence. And I won't say when he does this. But, then you're left with the challenge of, well, are you doing what's right or what was convenient? And can you defend something by breaking it? Or define its very ideals? So, I am not using this as an excuse to make things difficult for myself. If anything, I was kind of floundering for what to draw this evening. I want to fulfill that Sonic commission, but I also didn't want to spend the whole time on Sonic. So this gives me something to do here. CDN Polywave. I still haven't found what I'm looking for, but U2 helps the way. But I still haven't found. Now I'm demonetized. Except I'm not monetizing this, so who cares? Kristen C. makes a good point. Sometimes it's more fun to watch the playthroughs and take in the story, whereas playing the game. But I still really rankle under the blatant disregard of the law. It's like you've created a dumb fictional setting that you can't even really explore the idea of law. Not in the same way. But I also realize that for a lot of people, it's the fun characters. It is the somewhat goofy setting, and of course, the judge. The judge is pretty funny. Now, there was. Oh yes, Champ to stay wondering, do I have a favorite stuffed animal? Yes. When I was growing up, I had a Littlefoot stuffed animal, and I took it with me everywhere. I adored it. I would move it around and have it interact, so much so that I wore out the neck. It dips just slightly. I have not seen that in many a year, but I know that it's tucked away in my parents' home. And that gives me a certain comfort. Who doesn't love, well, okay, Land Before Time, it makes you're sad. You're definitely sad when you see certain scenes, but I love the Land Before Time. That's to those home releases because they could never match the original. No, sir. Let's see here. Jude is wondering, what if Cozy Glow ESPI? I'm sorry, I don't know what ESPI stands for. Fetch, I appreciate the list of fencing. I will give that a look, but this seemed... I gotta be honest, this one seems so sort of obscure. I don't know if it's going to be even available on lists. I can definitely guarantee it wasn't a Sherlock Holmes movie. Yep. Let's see here. ESP... Oh, Evangelion 007. Good to see you here. If we scale Twilight Sparkle's crew up of Equestria from 1 to 10, would it go over 9,000? Oh, it would certainly go to meme status. And yes, I know it. Wait, do you know how powerful Twilight is? Tell me. Oh, those are quite the musical shift. Whoa, Little Heart was in the hospital? What now? I made a Melman doll from the movie Madagascar from my time in the hospital when I was little. Oh, okay, you weren't in the hospital recently. Still, I'm sorry anyone ever has to go to the hospital. That's no fun. That's no good. But I'm glad you're okay, is what I'm saying. So, let's see here. But yes, actually, to tie together Land Before Time and stuffed animals and Warhammer, I was watching Overly Sarcastic Productions video on Grimdark. And one of the things I really appreciated what Red said is basically kicking to the curb the idea that growing up means becoming cynical, jaded, and disillusioned. basically the argument that negativity is a proxy for wisdom. And so when people say, oh, if people were to mock that, oh, you still have a stuffed toy. Yeah, I had a really wonderful childhood. I know I'm lucky in that regard. I'm glad to have this memento of that wonderful childhood. What do you guys have to remember? There's a question. I mean, if they feel the need to mock someone for affection, then there's probably something going on in their own lives. I don't expect an answer, but at the same time. So don't let anyone give you grief if you have a memento from childhood or something you still love. As long as it's not distracting you from the moment, as long as you're not living in a pleasant past at the expense of the now, I don't see a problem. Ooh, Kristen, you still have a Care Bear. Now I'm not aware of those getting a relaunch, so that's a good chunk of time. And a good memento. Though again, I'm thinking of Yukio. Oh, your name's Ironheart. Bet your parents were friends of the Care Bear cousins. Remember them? No? Just me. Anywho, we're coming along. I'm going to go just a little bit more over my 2-hour deadline just so I can finish this slide, and then it'll be much easier to create the remainder of the presentation because I can add ponies into little heart area or Equestria girls, and so therefore it will be much more relevant than this couple that needs fashion counseling. And yes, I will maintain the need of fashion counseling. Someone have either pony rarity or Equestria girls rarity on standby. Heck, get G3 Rainbow Dash if you must. Oh, come on, you. Don't you be fighting me at this critical juncture. And let's switch you to 0. There we go. Noah Harris wonders, what if Chrysalis reformed? Well, no, that's the hard thing. If she were to reform, and I have no idea how one would accomplish such a thing, she wouldn't really get to go back to life as usual in the Changeling Kingdom. She wouldn't reassume her throne. That is now Thorax. He is the guide in this new generation. There's no point in going backwards. Where would a reformed Changeling Queen go? I mean, Tempest has already hit the road to tell the world about friendship. I don't know how many more times you could have a Twilight's Reunion tour or a Reformed Villain tour. Wouldn't it be interesting if she instead became a protector of the Crystal Empire? But not in... Okay, I think it'd be a little awkward for her to be around Cadence and Shining Armor. Given their history. But if she vowed to be a protector from the shadows, that might be interesting. She'd have plenty of love to keep her sustained. And she'd look out for them because, let's be honest, the Crystal Empire has this unhealthy habit of getting conquered rather quickly. She'd probably use some defense there. Oh, okay, there was some Care Bears in 2000. That's good to know. Actually, you know what? That'd be funny. Chrysalis becomes... You know what? Let's just make it 100%. Chrysalis adopts the mysterious Ne'er-do-well. She hears about it, says, hey, that could work. And she just adopts that role while defending the Crystal Empire. They'd never know. And Rainbow Dash would be running around like, you guys aren't pulling another trick on me, are you? Oh, Trinair is giving me the big hell no. I don't know if that means you're not a fan of Ne'er-do-well or you're Such a fan, you wouldn't want Chrysalis taking it. Burn Melderwell costume to ash and scatter it in a volcano. Okay, I think I understand Trinari's perspective now. Definitely not a Mare-do-Well fan. I'm guessing not a fan of that episode, which, with good reason. It was probably the first clunker. Well, how do I put it? So many fans joined in season 2. And so while it was not the first clunker of an episode, I do think it was the first time the fandom at large had to sit and stew about it. We had a lot more time to reflect on why it wasn't a good episode or what fell off, because there was a whole week before the next episode. Forget these early episode airings. That wasn't a thing back in the day. I miss that rhythm, to be honest. I miss getting to see an episode, digest it, and witness fan expression and comedy based on the latest episode before you get a preview and then the big reset. Let's see here. Will I be Rainbow Dash? Excellent screen name. Will you be a punching bag for Karna? I'm not sure who. Are you referring to Karma? You see, Karma doesn't have punching bags, as I understand it. Karma instead takes it out for every time you try to throw a punch. But then I also think it's not a simple 1-to-1 scoreboard. I'm unsure. I'm not versed in this philosophy. In fact, I feel a little bad that the most I can quote about Karma is from The New Adventures of Johnny Quest. Haji, he says, Karma is a strange master on several occasions, where he notes the ironies of life. And he's not wrong. But then again, I also think the New Adventures of Johnny Quest is not a good barometer of that philosophy. Well, now I actually feel the need to go read up on Karma just so I have some leg to stand on. Now, last but certainly not least, this little bendy line. Hello, bendy line. All right, good. I now have a third background, and that is it. That's all we need. We're good. We're good. No more. No less. 3 is the number of backgrounds you shall have, and the number of backgrounds you shall have will be 3. 4 is too many, and 5 is right out. Yes, yes. What is this tan? I do not know what this is. Go away. There we are. That's better. Yes, Wrenchhog, you're right. It is past my 2-hour mark, but I have completed what I set out to do, which is a wonderful feeling. I now have more flexible backgrounds to use. And I can present them at Everfree Northwest next week. Now, I think I must admit I won't get to see you all next Friday. There will obviously be no stream because I will be in a whole other state with probably terrible Wi-Fi because there are so many peeps. But either way, this has been a fun evening. I've so enjoyed talking with y'all, getting to hear your thoughts, answering some questions. And so, well, mostly I wish you all a wonderful week. Those of you whom I will see at Everfree Northwest, I'm looking forward to seeing y'all in person, and I hope that the panels I'm on with Q and Sweetie Bloom will be entertaining. And I hope you'll come by, visit me at my vendor book table and on the main stage for After the Fact Live Wonderbolts Academy. I will look forward to seeing you all. And yes, Artisan, for those who can't attend, I know you'll be there in spirit, and I hope that my future works will be entertaining. I'll be working back on a video as soon as I get home and get a little sleep after Everfree Northwest. So everyone, I wish you a wonderful evening, a fantastic weekend. Be safe and be well. I'm Silver-Quill. Thanks for watching.